Today we are going to cover Standard 15. This is about World War I. Standard 15 says analyze the origins and the impact of U.S. involvement in World War I. Describe the movement from U.S. neutrality to engagement in World War I. Okay, so when war was declared in Europe in July of 1914, Wilson proclaimed American neutrality for several reasons. There were several reasons why he wanted the U.S. to stay neutral in this battle. Number one, the tradition of non-involvement. That dates all the way back to George Washington. Since George Washington, we have tried to stay out of wars. George Washington kept us out of the war between Britain and France. So did John Adams. So this tradition of not getting involved. Plus, another reason is there were people in America that were against the war. Progressives and women organized against the U.S. being involved in this war. We did not feel that it was something we needed to get involved in. Plus, America, as a land of immigrants, should not take sides in a war that's happening in Europe. We have people from both sides of the war that live here in America, and so that's just another reason why we should be neutral. Even though we are neutral, the majority of the U.S. supported the Allies, but we just wanted to stay neutral in the war. Now, England and Germany. England is going to put a blockade around Germany to cut off war supplies so that they cannot get the supplies that they need. Wilson is going to protest that this blockade infringes upon America's right to trade as a neutral nation. We are neutral. We should be able to trade with whoever, with Britain, with Germany, with whoever. So he protests against England putting a blockade around Germany. But it doesn't really end up affecting us because the Allies are going to order so many supplies from us that it fuels our U.S. economy. So we don't miss out from not having Germany order from us. So loans and trade are going to draw the U.S. closer to the Allies, while trade with Germany is going to all but end. Germany is going to respond to Britain's blockade by using their U-boats, their submarines, in unrestricted submarine warfare. This map shows you all of the little red squares are showing you the U-boats that are creating a naval blockade around Britain. Now, Germany let us know that they were doing this blockade. Notice this advertisement that was put out. Notice, travelers intending to embark on the Atlantic voyage are reminded that a state of war exists between Germany and her allies and Great Britain and her allies, and that the zone of war includes the waters adjacent to the British Isles, that in accordance with formal notice given by the Imperial German government, vessels flying the flag of Great Britain or any of her allies are liable to destruction in these waters, and that travelers sailing in the war zone on ships of Great Britain or her allies do so at their own risk. So Germany did put it out there. The Imperial German Embassy put this out there, April 22nd, 1915, saying that any vessels flying the flag of Britain are liable to destruction. So we were well aware of the risk. And this was put out in April of 1915. So the very next month when this happens, Americans shouldn't have been that surprised. May 1915, Germany is going to sink the British ship, the Lusitania. The reason why Americans were so outraged at the sinking of this British ship is there were 128 Americans on board. The United States is going to be outraged. President Wilson is going to warn Germany, no more attacks. Germany will stop temporarily, but in August, they are going to resume their unrestricted submarine warfare. They are going to sink the Arabic that has 3 Americans on board. And at this point, even though we're still neutral, Congress realizes we need to do something, and so they are going to pass the National Defense Act. This will increase the size of the U.S. Army and Navy.